something I'd play like a lot, but I think it'd be fun to play like a map of co-op here and a map of co-op there, probably. Something like that. Anyways, guys, we are finally into our game, so sorry for the delays. Let's go into this. To the top left-hand side, we're going to be starting with our blue Zerg player. It is going to be Sleep. And to the bottom right-hand side, our red Terran player is going to be ByuN. As we get set up into game one of this best of 3 series, some more TvZ. After this, unfortunately, we do end the day with 2 ZVZ in a row. But that's okay. A couple of ZVZs, it's okay. It'll still be fun. Guru versus Sleep and Sleep versus True, our remaining matches after this best of 3. As we round up Group A of the SGL. Don't forget, we'll be back tomorrow with more SGL. Don't forget that after the SGL today, we're actually going to stay live. We're going to go into the Go for SC2 Thursdays. Go for SC2 number 600 today. Last week I did my first ever Go for SC2 Thursday, I just haven't done it before, and I realised that Go for SC2 Thursday is a lot of fun and a lot of people want to watch it, so we're going to do it again today. More Go for SC2 Thursday action, hope you're all excited. Busy stream today then, obviously, so we're going to be live for a good 8 hours or so in total, which is what we like to hear, right? Nice long streams. That's how I like it. I mean, I hate it when we stream like a Layfang Cup group or something, and we stream for like 3 hours or something, just about. And then it's like, okay, cool, 3 hours, we're done. Bye. Thanks for watching today, guys. I'll see you tomorrow. It's like, 3 hours isn't like a day of work, and obviously I've got other stuff to do, but it feels as though I should stream for more than 3 hours. I don't have anything to stream. I mean, like me streaming Ladder Never Ends well, for example. Maybe I should just start full-time streaming co-op in my downtime now, or my extra time where I feel as though I haven't streamed enough. Maybe that's my new thing. Maybe not. Alright, so we are just waiting for overlords to cross the map. We're waiting to see the initial build orders. It is going to be the double racks playstyle, of course, from ByuN here, as you see that second racks building up. So we've talked about this. It is going to be that stim job, very similar to what we saw him doing against True here, for example, on Galactic Process, what we saw him doing against Guru as well. 2 medevacs, 16 marines at about 5 minutes with stim attacking. That's what he's going to be going into right now. So you are going to be seeing this Reaper coming across. Grenade goes down, a little bit more damage going to be done. Did I miss ByuN versus True, says Malax? Yes, you did, unfortunately, but don't worry, because if you did, we will put the VODs up on YouTube. I'll work hard to get these expedited a little bit, and maybe jump the queue as to other VODs we had meaning to upload, so we'll be having those on the YouTube sooner rather than later. Or you can go to the Twitch page right now. If you go into the past broadcast section of my Twitch page, you'll find this stream has already been past broadcasted, and you can check it out, and you can go watch True versus ByuN right now. Of course, I advise you stay here for the current... Well, I just advise you stay here for a little while first, but, you know, watch these games and then go watch it later. Alright, the second speed is going to be finishing up in just a few moments' time, as we wait to just see what exactly is going to be the plan here from Sleep in the long run. Obviously, we know ByuN's plan for at least the next 2 minutes or so. We will also talk a little bit about his follow-up. Again, he's actually been playing, well, a mixture of follow-ups. He did go for the tank-based follow-up against True on Galactic, but he has been playing that double engineering-based follow-up as well a couple of times today. So, wait to see how this is going to go, as we do have these Reapers just coming in. 3 hours is like a day of work. Now I'm saying 3 hours isn't like a day of work. I'm like, that's crazy that after 3 hours I'm just done. And obviously I've got other stuff to do after I've streamed, but it feels as though 3 hours isn't a proper, like, you know, isn't like a proper day. I feel as though I need to do more. So, 3 workers on this Reaper. Well, that's pretty decent. As we're going to be seeing this Beta Nest on the way up. 14 Zerglings being added on as well. I mean, Sleep actually, if there's early Beta Nest with this, and Beta Nest this early on, is looking to probably go for that counter Bane bust. Might break down these rocks here and then go down the left-hand side, so it's not spotted by ByuN. As we do see for now, ByuN just collecting workers together, or Marines together, sorry, on this ramp. So, ByuN just collecting workers together, sorry, I keep saying workers, Marines together on this ramp, ready for those medevacs coming in a moment. He's actually going to shut down his Overlord first of all. I mean, Sleep seeing that many Marines will have a very good idea as to what this is going to be this time around. As we're going to see the Marines getting loaded up into the medevacs, and across the map we go. So across the map we go, but there's them Zerglings moving across to potentially counterattack here in the near future. Morph in the Baners, then maybe send the rest of the Zerglings across as well when he cleans up this drop. Something along those lines. I mean, they're definitely going to become ByuNs. Again, when you see the ByuN nest this early, because you don't usually need the ByuN nest this early to actually deal with this first attack, so why invest into it if you actually don't need the ByuNs? In fact, ByuNs are very bad against this attack, because with someone like ByuN, he can target down the ByuNs so easily before they reach you, so it's much better to actually just go for Zerglings for the most part. We actually do see quite a few ByuNs morphing in over here, though, so it's not going to be hard as I thought. He is going to go for the ByuNs on this side, and we'll see ByuN. And he's not going to fight against this for now. He'll just lift up and back away, so the ByuNs do help to push this back, I guess, in the end. I just don't feel as though the ByuNs are always the right choice, and now he's got a lot of ByuNs on this side of the map which aren't necessarily going to be as useful, and they're not going to get across the map very quickly to join in this counterattack here in the near future. And there's just going to be seeing a few Marines clacking together. His tank is out, though, and with the tank out, it makes this ByuN bus way less likely to work, especially when the Widowmine picks up 19 Zerglings to start things off. The tank siege is on the high ground, the SCVs pull away, and honestly, ByuN, as he targets down these Baylines, is just going to defend this very, very easily. And that is, and that is just a huge advantage for ByuN. I mean, you shut that down so easily, you're going to be leading in this game. Nice target fire, and again, 3 Baylines targeted. He lifts up before losing too much here. Backs away once again. Marine's going to unload off to the right-hand side. You'll see an Overlord continue to move down to the south side. One upgrade started from ByuN behind this now as well. He's got that third CC obviously up and ready to go as also. As well as see extra Marines. Just going to sit here for now, maybe waiting for another bust across the map. I mean, we actually see Sleep hasn't added on drones for a long time. Finally, he's going to be adding... finally going to be adding on the extra set of drones. Lair being added on now as well. So he's starting to tech up, but he's just down on workers. And ByuN will continue to apply pressure. We see 2 medevacs coming straight up through the center. They're going to go in towards the natural expansion. Sleep is all the way out to this right-hand side now. Currently pushing those Marines away. So here you go, drop into the natural. And this is where ByuN becomes so good, right? When he's just able to multitask, move all over. The Queens on high enough numbers. These Zerglings are getting massacred right now. Targets the Banelings down. It's a classic ByuN move as we see him continue to just trade with those Zerglings. Into the third base we go as well with these Marines. And this is the problem for Sleep. He was down on workers and he's just going to keep on being down on workers. As we see the third base is going to fall. The natural expansion has been compromised. And Sleep has a few Queens that just can't actually fight against these Marines. The Marines keep on taking them down, and I mean, that's going to be it. The third base falls as well. I mean, you could see the idea from Sleep. It just didn't work out well enough. The tank, too good there in the defense. And obviously the Widowmine getting 19 Zerglings to begin with made things a lot easier for ByuN as well. Another drop. Well, the drop from the third base goes towards the main base now instead. Some Zerglings trying to move into position. They will come around the back to get a bit of a better surround. ByuN still utilizing these mineral patches to his advantage though, as the Zerglings just funnel on through. They die one at a time, and these drones just keep on dropping as well. And ByuN, well, back at home, he's got a third base up. He's rallying units across to his third base. I mean, whenever he wants to, he'll just gather those reinforcements, bring them across the map, and he will take game number 1 of this best of 3. Drone's going to pull in here once again, as Marine's still trying to fight against those couple of Queens. Still trying to fight against this. We see a medevac getting targeted down, another medevac going to continue to take damage, and we see the Marines still trying to just do a little bit more. Drones continue to drop dead. So a few more drones continuing to go down, and there we go. GG is going to be called by Sleep here eventually, and ByuN is going to take game number 1. Game number 2 of this best of 3 series. To the bottom right hand side, our blue Zerg player is going to be Sleep. And to the bottom left, it is going to be our red Terran player, of course, ByuN. Bringing us some fun TvZ action today. Thank you very much, Sturmcarton, in the chat for the 100 cheer. Or cheers 100, that's what I'm just going to say now. I'm just saying he cheers 100. He cheers 100 in the chat, and he said hype stream. Hype stream indeed. It's been a fun stream so far. Of course, thank you all for joining us. A lot of love to the SGL so far. I mean, I think this player pool is just fantastic, right? I mean, I think a lot of people like it. It's got a lot of people excited. Be interesting to see how it goes over the next week or two. To see how more games turn out and stuff like that. As we do just have here, ByuN. With SCV production started up so far. Nothing too crazy just yet. Really just intrigued to see whether he once again goes for that 2 racks open, or whether he's going to go for a faster factory opening, maybe like a Widowmine into tank. And it's Frost, and people do love to go for the double racks play on Frost because of the fact that it's actually a very good map to drop on and keep your opponent from taking a 4th base, etc. You know, just keep the pressure up from the very early stages of the game It's a good map to do that on because it's a larger map and you want to keep that Zerg economy in check. And it's much easier to do that with a double racks opening rather than the factory-based follow-up. Just going to be seeing that Overlord continue to move over towards the bottom left-hand side. SCV actually is going to build up a second Rax as well, so it is indeed going to be the second Rax coming on in. Reactor on the way down. And there's that Reaper starting to head up towards the upper left-hand side. So Reaper going to head in towards the upper left. Obviously wants to try and figure out what's going on here early in the game. Wants to try and find where his opponent is as well, of course. Doesn't see him in the top left though, so he'll have to change direction. Sleep pulls down to only one worker left in gas here, so one worker left in gas. Going to keep on mine just slowly but surely. And we'll see what he wants to spend that on, whether he goes for a little bit of a late pneumatized carapace, whether he wants to go into something a bit different from a pneumatized carapace, whether he wants to use it for maybe a Baneling nest, maybe he wants to use it for an upgrade later on, maybe a fast lair. Not a super fast lair, but a fairly fast lair. There is some possibilities here still. As you see, Queen's just going to push that Reaper back from ByuN. And we are going to be seeing this Overlord just sitting out the front. So Overlord just sits out the front and, well, we see the factory about to finish. Again, it's this build order we expect to see out of ByuN. It's the build order we've seen so much recently. And we're going to be seeing it once again right now. As we have, well, SCV's pouring out in towards the natural. You see a few Marines are just going to be joining up together on this ramp as well. And this Reaper just comes forward and grenade goes down, just going to be picking away at a creep tumor. Obviously, the more creep he kills now, the more energy wasted by a Queen, and again, the less creep there is going to be out on the map as well. As this Reaper just going to pull back away over to the left-hand side of the map. You've seen that starboard added on here from ByuN as well. Another SCV going to be pulling down in towards the natural. So SCV pulls down to the natural. That starboard is building, about halfway done currently. Reactor comes down onto the factory. And there's that pneumatized carapace from Sleep. So he does do this. He goes into this like later pneumatized carapace with only one worker left on the gas. It's interesting. Doesn't get it up super quick, so he doesn't see sort of super early what the build is, but still sort of gets it early enough. And pneumatized carapace can be useful kind of throughout the game as well. Factory just move over to the left hand side a little bit as we do see a couple of medevacs starting up on that starport. So a couple of medevacs starting up over here. And you're just going to be seeing, well, pneumatized carapace finishing, so let's see if he goes in and, I mean, he should go in and scout, right, just confirm what this build order is, otherwise why invest into the pneumatized carapace? He gets confirmation, and he sees what this is. Right now, Sleep is on 39 workers. I'd like to see him try and add on another round of drones, and then a round of units, because at 39 workers, it feels as though he just needs maybe a couple more to be comfortable here, and then he can move into a whole bunch more Zerglings to help him deflect these first two medevacs. Actually going to start +1 melee upgrade here, and maybe +1 carapace as well. Has to be cautious that he doesn't overgreed right now. I mean, I like the round of drones, but he does need them Zerglings, and there we go. 18 Zerglings more now on the way in the production tab. So setting up here nicely. Reaper just pushes Zergling away from the watchtower. It's actually going to go take the upper watchtower instead. Just keep as much match control as possible, as you're going to see the Queens moving forwards, but actually only 3 of them. Does need the Zerglings to be nearby as well to make sure he doesn't just lose the Queens to the Marines. As here we go, the Zerglings going to start running in. Morlings coming in as well. The Reaper grenade hits the Queens, but not too drastically. You're going to see one of those medevacs going down. ByuN is actually continuing to fight this here. He has Marines left over, but I don't think he's got enough to actually fight against the Queens, so he does pull back. An interesting trade that ByuN doesn't back away from that. He actually just continues to trade instead. As we are going to be seeing those Marines. They'll just join up on this southern watchtower for now. Another medevac to join up with them in the bottom side. So we're going to be seeing these medevacs just coming in here. 20 more Zerglings on the way up. Just going to be seeing this 20 Zerglings coming on in and just being, again, obviously ready to kind of deal with the next wave of this aggression. I mean, he did lose a lot of his Zerglings. He lost all of them, and that's worth keeping in mind because it does mean that at this point, having lost his Zerglings, his Widowmine going to go off on only the Zerglings. Nice pickup from ByuN, although he loses another medevac. You know, you have to keep in mind at this point that ByuN, that he's still not actually made another round of drones yet. So only just now going back into drones, it's sort of okay because again, the third base doesn't land for quite a while with this build order. There is the double engineering bay variation, so what we are going to see is just continued medevac drops, no tank push or anything like that. Just continued medevac drops around the map to try and keep the Zerg player busy. Fourth base for the Zerg will be interesting to see whether he wants to take it down to the south side. or he can go up to the north side as well, you know? I mean, the north side is harder to hold in general, but in these spawning locations, the south side can be very difficult to hold because of the push through the bottom side of the map. You know, you very easily push through this bottom side through a choke point and into a position where you siege up that mineral line very easily. So it is what makes Frost such a good map for Terran players. When you get these vertical or horizontal spawns, it can make it very difficult for the Zerg to kind of fight against. We see that Widowmine still around, does now get taken down. So Widowmine now getting taken down. We do see a couple of medevacs just moving in towards the main base. They're going to start unloading over here in the next couple of moments. And just going to be unloading those Marines, letting them sort of move forwards and try and get damage done. Sleep responds very quickly though, as we see these Balians moving forwards. ByuN, nice target firing. Missed clicks on one of the second to last ones though, unfortunately, as we do see him just pulling away with a few more of his Marines. Just actually going to redrop in the main base, but again, still good defense from Sleep. Problem still lies though, where does he take the fourth base? And how does he take it? We see ByuN is moving his third base into position. Does have to clean up this overload, which is currently spreading creep. So does have to clean that up to begin with, as we see again that drop going to be pushed away. 2 upgrades starting for our Zerg player, and actually that's going to be a little bit of an upgrade lead for our Zerg, so that's definitely something which will become useful as the game continues. And as you can see, this Ling Bane still in high numbers. Ooh, Queen's picking off the medevac. That's a great pick off from Sleep. Obviously, the more medevacs he gets rid of, the less he has to worry about being out on the map, the less harassment ByuN can go for. And the more, you know, and the less powerful ByuN's kind of play continues to be. As we see, Widowmine's actually going off on a lot of the ByuN as well as those few Zerglings which pulled ahead. This was, I feel, a pretty good fight again from Sleep. He's doing a good job right now of just keeping ByuN pushed back and taking some better trades for himself. You can see that resources lost is currently just slightly favouring the Terran player, which when you're playing Ling Bane is great. Now the only problem is, he should probably be hoping to be on more drones than what he's actually on right now. He's only on 62 workers. Yes, he doesn't have a fourth base, but if he wants to trade somewhat inefficiently, which Ling Bane generally does do, he needs to have a lot more workers. He needs to be up to 75 workers or 80 workers at least. So he needs to try and drone up. He's not actually going for a fourth base. What he's doing is he's going to go for a free base hive, saying that, well, you know what, in these spawns, my fourth base is hard to take. And so to counteract that, I'm actually just going to be taking my fourth base very delayed here. Instead, focusing on teching up for a little while. ByuN might not let that happen though, currently pushing up this top, up through the end. He's got a drop to the top side as well, watching for fourth base coming down. He's going to be seeing this Ling Bane Queen army still just looking to hold this position here. Single Marine pushing an overload away, nothing too exciting to the bottom side. But this drop again, it's watching for that fourth base coming into position because he expects it to potentially be here. If not, well, that's what this Marine is going to spot. He's going to spot it down to this side, and then ByuN can focus some efforts in that direction instead. We're going to be seeing another Widowmine going off. Nothing too important killed there, just one single Zergling. It's actually a well-placed Zergling by Sleep, sending it forwards to get something done. Upgrades will be finishing up soon for the 2-2. It is our Zerg player who has a slight timing advantage on those. It's only going to be by about 10-15 seconds, so it's not a huge timing window to attack in. As you see him just pushing back again. ByuN just sitting here is obviously continuing to not just push the creep back, but just stop him from advancing forwards at all ever. And so the creep spread not great for the Zerg player. I mean, it's good in his own kind of side of the map, but it's not getting out onto the map at all. As you see, Widowmine's again hitting Terran units more so than they're hitting the Zerg units, it seems, to some extent here. Still that drop to the top side not being utilised, and the timing window with the upgrade advantage for our Zerg player has now closed. But he has got that hive up. What does he do with it? We haven't seen an Ultra Cavern being built just yet. We don't see adrenal glands being added either. We don't even see free. So what has he built that hive on free bases for? What's he going to do with it? He has got a fourth base now down to the bottom side, but ByuN starts to come in here. We'll see that fourth base and see what he can do. He's actually at the same time taking a little bit of damage onto his third. 7 workers already going down. He actually gets into a good position to continue trading here very nicely as those Marines continue to trade very well here indeed. A few Marines over here actually getting shut down pretty quickly by the Ling Bane. As we're going to be seeing adrenal glands being added on. There's the free for the Terran player. There's the Ultras Cavern for our Zerg. Keeps the fourth base alive, although he did lose some workers. He keeps the fourth base alive, which is something. But you can't help but feel as though ByuN is starting to trade much better than he should be in this game. 5.7k to the 8.9k loss now. It's getting to that point where it is, again, because Sleep's actually on very low drone count, 48 to the 61 workers, he isn't able to trade inefficiently, even though that's what this composition usually does. It's not going to work out for him. His economy is just too weak here. And ByuN eventually, if he keeps on battering at the front door, eventually it will come down and ByuN will just push on through, probably take down the third base, and it will just sort of end the game from that point. ByuN with a good advantage right now as he continues to push in. Actually, Sleep is below 100 supply. Now, obviously, he's bringing some units or keeping some units or some money to make the Ultralisks in the near future. You see those Blings and Banes going to crash on forwards. You see the Queens trying to target down units as well. With a Mino 2 getting a little bit of damage done. As we're going to see, she's just picking off a couple at a time, but again, drops down to the 4th base, dropping the 3rd base again. And in fact, we just see more damage being done. Another 10 workers killed, now below 40 workers, as Zerg player is really struggling. The 4th base is going to fall the 3rd base will as well if he doesn't do something. There you go, pulls into position. And there's that 4th base going down. Now ByuN can just hop on up into the main base, continue to attack. That drop will come back in towards the 3rd in the near future as well, I'm sure of it. As we see, Sleep is just not given a chance to breathe right now. He's got 4 ultras on the way, but Kindness Plate is very late to start. And being unable to start here, or not starting in time, means that these ultras are not going to be on the map for a long, long time. You're going to see those villains keep on crashing on through. A lot more Marines going down here. I mean, at this point, ByuN just needs to keep on attacking, and that's exactly what he's doing. He starts up some Liberators because he sees the Ultras. Again, though, right now the Ultras are not in the best place in terms of upgrades, although the Queens are going to help them stay alive for a little while longer. Plenty of energy to transfuse with on these Queens for now. As we'll see, ByuN does just pull back, has to regroup a little bit here. He actually looks as though he has a very small army out in the centre. We don't mind starting to get some good damage done as well onto these Ultralisks. As we see now, the Queen's out of position as he moved off of creep. Without Queen's in position, the Ultras do die very swiftly indeed. Another transfuse available, and he does use it once again. Ultras not dying just yet as he continues to pull back away from those few Ultras, away from those few Queens. I mean, this is Sleep just saying, I have to attack, I have to win with this right now. But as he runs out of energy on the Queens, he'll know that these Ultras are going to die. Kindness Plate is not going to finish before every single Ultra has fallen. The Zerglings streaming in are not going to be able to do enough. And ByuN will take in number 3, GG.